Happy New Year, Leo. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It keeps you up to date with all my things and helps me to grow my channel and continue doing what I do. So please hit that subscribe channel. It's a great exchange of energy as well, considering I'm giving you a free reading, right? Say it as it is, girl. Say it as it is. So guys, Happy New Year. It is January. Like the beginning of a year. This is my favorite time of year, if I'm honest. My favorite time collectively. Like the energy in the air. It is now the 28th of December, or actually I think I'm on the 29th of December. Losing track of my days. The kids are not here, so my days all blend into one at the moment. And it's that time of year where we all start reflecting on things that need to change in our lives, things we're not happy with, goals that we want to achieve next year. Like it's about dropping and then grabbing kind of thing, like that energy where we're all figuring things out. And that makes it a really great time of year to utilize that energy, because it's a collective worldwide global energy that, you know, we could use to benefit reaching our goals faster, more clearer. We just need to channel it, you know, in a precise way, and I'm loving it. I love it. So I'm excited for this year. I have had a really shit year this year, Leo. I think many of us have. It's been lots of ups and downs. Yes, there's been some good times, but I mean, for me overall, I am happy to be jumping into 2023, and I am claiming that it's going to be a good year. So hop on that with me. It's going to be a good year, Leo. I am using the Shapeshifter deck by Lucy Cavendish, and also Lucy Cavendish's Hidden Worlds deck as the keywords, and also Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Oh, your card's just dropped out. Oh, I got it. As the keywords as well. So as you know, if you follow me, I go by what I'm drawn to. So before I start my readings, I'll go in front of all my cards and be like, I need you, okay. And the same way with the layouts. I do not have a fixed layout that I use. I kind of, before I start doing my readings, it just feels right. And that's how I love to work. I kind of feel like just allowing the universe to just guide me is the best kind of way. I don't know. So I just love it. The magic of it, I guess. Let's begin, Leo. Okay. Interesting. So pay attention. Brother Raccoon, a safe place for you to go. Interesting. So the beginning of this year, the first 2 weeks of January, this is a time when we should be reflecting and observing. It isn't the time to take action. We have Mercury in retrograde along with Uranus in retrograde and also Mars in retrograde all at the same time. Now these three planets together, it's a great combination. I won't lie, it's really good. But it also can be kind of chaotic at times. I mean, Mars retrograding means, you know, don't be starting any conflicts. And realize that people may act rash, or you may be really impulsive in your reactions as well. So be wary of that. And this is why I feel like specifically the first 2 weeks of January, it is a time to not be rushing into anything or taking any actions. It's a time to really be taking inventory. So if you do have goals that you're hoping to jump into in the beginning of this year, allow yourself to kind of realize that if things are not coming fast for the first 2 weeks, there's a reason for that astrologically, and perhaps like it is teaching you to slow down a little bit. But I feel as though with this card, it's insinuating it's a safe space for you here. You really can, I want to say, feel cocooned and wrapped in like a mother's love kind of feel, which is quite interesting. I feel as though you do have love surrounding you. This is paired with the keyword open like a lotus, flower spirit, revelation, and maturity. Interesting. I'm still getting mother vibes, as though like being nurtured in some way with this. This is not what this card means, but I'm just getting that nurturing feeling really coming through. So keep that in mind. If anybody has any maternal kind of figures that have passed, they could be very much well be here with you during this time and right now. I'm getting peace. Definitely is a time for you to not be getting out and social if you can. More like, I just get this sense of like getting beneath the covers and watching movies kind of vibe. I feel like you are really growing and evolving at this time. and that comes with vulnerability sometimes. So I feel like nurture yourself through that. Understand when your body is telling you to literally relax, and understand that it's not lazy, so not to beat you up about that. But this feels like a really good thing. This doesn't feel like a negative, but I do just get this desire to tell you to listen to your and trust in your instincts. Blessings are definitely coming your way, but again, be patient for them. They're coming. Be patient. Next we have Miss Spiderweb. You're definitely creating and crafting your way. Miss Spiderweb comes to say reconsider your alliances and make new connections. You are going, like, worldwide, the energies are like all supporting us to grow and become our best selves. Uranus in retrograde is all about freedom. It's basically bringing things to the surface that need to be let go of or need to be changed, because while we may feel content in a situation that we feel in our hearts that we're being moved away from, it's because, yeah, you might be content in it, but it no longer serves you of your higher purpose. It's like it's grown to as far as it can. Now, I get with this spider that you are growing something bigger than what is, bigger than what you have and what you've had before. And it is, again, all the planets are leading you towards have exactly what it is that works most for you. So this is saying, be open to realizing that maybe you need new people in your circle, and that there could be new opportunities and new connections that open you up to a whole new world. I do feel like 2023 is going to open our eyes to having good surprises in our life. I feel as though if you have kind of a goal and you're sticking with it, that you might realize that that's not how it's going to take us. And that's what 2022 has been about as well. We're in the same kind of energy, but it's next leveling. I feel it's much more positive now rather than all of the downs and the hits. I feel like it's going to be twists and turns for the better. So take that as that resonates. The key word aside with this is the initiation, a rite of passage. You're going somewhere sacred. Now, you've had a safe place to go and then this sacred card. I really feel like you need to be making sure that your life that you're crafting for yourself this year, and I'm saying crafting because you are in control. You are the one that's powering your life. There's 3 cockatoos or whatever they're called over here. And just flew in front of me. That's quite beautiful. So 3s, that's a very good sign about creating new things as well. Sacred space, I will touch on that. It needs to resonate with you. It's going to be something uniquely to you. I do feel like the way the world has been previously, this is slowly, since COVID, been knocking down our kind of social normities anyway, of what's normal and what's right. The world wasn't working, right? We all know that. It still doesn't work. And so we're all trying to fight against what is, what was, and what should be. And I feel like, again, here we are working towards something that feels right for us, and kind of ignoring whether or not that suits other people. And by doing that, we then start attracting the people that we need in our lives, the people that we resonate with more, that stop bringing the toxic and start bringing the inspiration, start bringing the kind of making you feel comfortable in your own skin. And this is what I feel here. It's like you're coming into that way of being now. I won't accept anything less, and I want you to kind of own that, Leo. Don't accept anything less. You're a Leo. That's something that should very much come very naturally to you when you're giving permission, and I'm giving you permission. Own it. Don't accept anything less than what you deserve. Oh, okay. There could be pregnancies this year. Instantly, as soon as I looked at this card, that's all I saw. Pregnancies. So it's a very fertile year. Whenever you get kind of pregnancy in a reading, when it's a generalized reading for multiples, I kind of feel like it's fertile. Fertile can mean abundance in finances, just inspiration, ideas, growth of businesses. It's literally just growing something and nurturing something into existence, right? So if you are trying for a baby, take that as a good sign that this could be very much your year. Or some of you may already be pregnant as well. I feel as though this is definitely a blessing to some of you who are watching, Leo. But this card this card says that you've attracted wonderful news. I definitely feel like this year for you is attracting goodness, and it's starting here in January. Now, the beginning of January, it will be slow. It's about taking inventory and reflecting. But the second half of January is more about taking action towards the things that we desire and the things that we want. Now I feel like for you, something will begin to blossom this month for you that will really kick off your year onto a good start. Very interesting. Definitely put your efforts into something that you wish to grow. And actually I feel like your focus should be on that. Something that you're desiring to grow for yourself. That should be where you're putting your efforts and where, I don't know, there's something about putting your attention, paying attention to what you want to grow. I feel like with that being said, move your attention away from things that you don't want to grow anymore. So I mentioned on toxic relationships, toxic like friendships and people, we don't want that in our lives. Nobody does. But sometimes we entertain it because perhaps it's from someone we love, family, or it's just very much in our circumstances where we feel like we can't let go of it. Because of who it is or what it is, situations, workplaces, whatever. But, if you feed it, give it attention, it grows. That's the same with weeds, it's the same with anything. So those negative things in your life, if you pay attention to that, that is what you're choosing to nurture. That's what you're telling the universe that you want, right? This, I feel as though saying, don't do that. You tell the universe exactly what you desiring to create, and that will be what comes into existence. Dragonflies. That is a big thing this month. Since being out here, I'm outside filming, and yesterday I saw so many dragonflies coming through. I cannot remember the exact symbology for a dragonfly. Maybe if someone can comment below and just remind me to maybe mention something on that. Maybe do a short about dragonflies. I don't know. It's something I probably should look into. I'm hoping to do stuff like that this year. Maybe expanding by doing some shorts on things that come up within the readings in general throughout people's readings. Let me know if that's a good idea. Anyway, dragonfly, symbology of that. I believe it's something to do with good things coming, blessings coming. But don't take my word from that because, yes, don't have the best memory when it comes to remembering symbology unless I've just looked it up recently. Meditation is paired with this. Peace, relief, and sanctuary. Again, you have a sanctuary card. And it's all about, again, peace, finding your vibe. And I definitely feel like this is not a time for you to really be taking big action. Again, touching on the pregnancy side of things, if you have been trying for a while, if you're not pregnant and you want to be, it's about kind of coming into your own and relaxing into it. It's really hard, and I understand that as a parent, if you've been struggling for a long time to get pregnant, it's stressful, and stress does a lot of things to our bodies, and you'll hear so many stories of parents and mums who have struggled for years and years, 10 years, and then as soon as they stop trying, they have a baby. And it's kind of something to do with the body relaxing and no longer like fixating on something. Now, I know in this area we are saying put your focus in what you want to grow. So I would say yes, do focus on it, but I kind of think the whole point is to stop the negative side of the focus and think on the positive. So how can you relax your body? It's by not thinking I can't get pregnant, or this is so hard, and it's hard with the hormones, especially if you're taking hormones. That does a whole different thing. Trust me, I understand it. I hate hormones. I refuse to take birth control because I don't like things that alter my body, because of the negative impact it has on you mentally and how you interact and react to things. Major thing for me. So I understand that, but in order to create something, I feel like you really do have to find your peace. So take that as it resonates. I'm not telling you what to do or that this is what will work for you. It's just what's coming through for me to guide you. So please, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm telling you this is exactly what will happen. It is just, guidance of what may help you reading the cards. But again, anything you wish to grow, I feel like you need to meditate on this and kind of find the peaceful way of approaching it. So again, instead of taking rash action, it's about kind of just sitting back and working out the niggles. Again, that's what the first 2 weeks of January is, before we start kind of putting things into action in the second half. So I feel as though if you're trying to conceive, you're trying to kind of get something, it's preparing yourself emotionally and mentally into a peaceful state, and then trying in the second half. booking appointments for the second half of the year. Let me know if that does resonate with you and how it goes in February, because I would love to hear back on that if it was successful. But it feels exciting. I definitely feel that could be something growing. And yeah, for those of you already pregnant, I would say take it easy, understand, and I get it, again, mama, I have 3 children, and we kind of overextend ourselves. My second pregnancy was so hard. I literally had optical migraines, and I never knew that was a thing. I just went blind one day, and I was like, oh my God, I can't see, I'm blind. And it's after a day of I had to... I live an hour away from the hospital, and my husband at the time worked in town where the hospital was, so I had to get there for 4 a.m. while he did his whole 10-hour shift or whatever, and stay there in town with a 1-year-old, walking around the whole place, shopping centres, the hospital, going to my appointments, and then just finding something to do for the whole day. I got home, I was obviously exhausted being on my feet, 30 plus weeks pregnant. I just went blind. I couldn't see anything. And I was overextending myself. I wasn't allowing myself the relaxing time. I was just, pushing through, doing what I had to do, being a mum, and not really taking care of my needs during that time. And this is what I feel like. It's make sure that you are taking care. It's just 9 months of your time. That's a long time when you're pregnant. But in the scheme of things of our lives, 9 months is just a short period. So taking that downtime to really nurture and feed your body what it needs, I feel like that's more important. It is way more important than finances. It is way more important than anybody else's feelings, because you are literally growing another human inside of you. So keep that in mind for those of you who are pregnant. I just really feel this in here. And coming on to this next card really insinuates on what I'm saying. So obviously if you're not pregnant, not female, what I'm saying by that does apply to you, but in, your circumstances. So I'll move on and sort of move towards generalizing again. This next card is the Alice in a Sea of Tears. Cast away, out of your depth, feeling abandoned. So this goes exactly what I'm saying. So I feel this feeling of overwhelmingness. You really are drawn, being told to take it easy, relax, and allow yourself to be vulnerable. Open like a lotus is that first key word, and we've got feelings of vulnerability. So allow yourself to nurture yourself through emotions, and it's okay to feel. We're supposed to feel those emotions when they come to the surface. You're not supposed to go, I'm not supposed to be sad right now, or this should be a happy time, or anything like that, and suppressing all of those emotions. That bottles it in, and it kind of hinders us in all areas of our life, right? It's something we naturally do in this day and age. We bottle things up and we suppress things because it's easier. And it's not. It's so hard to do that. It's emotionally taxing. It's tiring. It's exhausting. But we find that easier than just being vulnerable, taking the time for ourselves and things like how insane is that? We're freaking crazy. So allow yourself to feel this. You are going through energetic upgrades during this time, a new way of being. And with that comes this great emotional wave. Every time I go through kind of a spiritual upgrade, when I start feeling run down and exhausted, because that's a time when I should be relaxing. I'm just letting my body and, mentality, spirituality just grow. But instead we try and do the mundane things and overexert ourselves. It's exhausting. So listen to yourself. I do feel like sleep is really important for you during this time. And just keep being close to people who matter, not people who don't. I think if someone is toxic to you, my guidance would be to just avoid them during this time. If you cannot get rid of it because it's, something in your circle, like I said, I do feel like it's going to drop away anyway. But just kind of for your own kind of well-being, I feel just avoid toxic people. Sorry, I just knocked my mic. Because I get this dreamlike state of you just needing to focus on you and your mental well-being. It doesn't feel really heavy, you see. This just feels like a little bit vulnerable time, and needing to kind of just take yourself away from something that feels more heavy, maybe, feels a little bit like a weight on you. I feel like there's something you need to feel and acknowledge for yourself. Okay, pay attention. The Mermaid of Immersion, complete commitment. So you definitely need to focus on what you want. This is paired with the Dolphin Caller, pure joy, friendships, loving help. Oh, I love this. Yeah, I'm getting connections of having a lot of helpful people around you. I'll show you the imagery on this card because she's beautiful. I don't think I've had her before. I feel like you're just surrounded by a lot of people who want good stuff for you in your life, which I'm loving. There are a couple of people who are toxic. This keeps coming up for you throughout. And they this affects you more than it should. I feel like the toxic people, you really take to heart people's opinions. Like, it's kind of like, to me, as though when someone says one bad thing about you, whether it be about your parents, be about something you've said or done, I feel like you take it very, very sensitively. And that's natural during this time. Mars in retrograde does that. It kind of makes us very heightened. I feel like there is a purpose for this. I mean, of course there is. But, I mean, I feel as though we are supposed to realize that we are sensitive to things, and kind of realize how things are making us feel during this time. I get this sense that it's to move us away from the things that make us feel bad and towards things that feel good. And in that, it makes us realize what is not working for us, or why we're feeling sensitive. Now, I do feel, again, I had this up here, being very sensitive during this time. I do think you have to let go of something negative in your life. It could be not people, it could be self-doubts, it could be a habit that you have within yourself, or it could be a situation that needs to change. Perhaps you need a career advance, or you need to move home from the town you're living in. I just feel like something that is influencing you negatively, that makes you feel vulnerable, it just no longer serves you now. And where it might have been a good space to have been in prior to this moment in your life, now you've outgrown it and you're evolving into something better and new. So I kind of want you to invite that in. But this is a good space. This is really good. I feel like you're surrounded by love. Again, we have pure, joyful friendships and loving help. I do feel like you have so much support around you that those negative things are literally but blips in this moment, right? So I kind of think you should take that as really good moral support, emotionally for yourself. That, is this really life-changing? This negative sensitivity that I have, like the thing that person said, should I really take that on face value? Am I that person? Like, the negative thing they say, no, I'm not. I know I'm not. Yeah, and owning the things that are. So if if they've said, oh, you're interrupting me all the time, I get that a lot because I do. I kind of think I have ADHD, because I can predict what someone's going to say, or I know where this is going, so I kind of move the conversation quicker than what it's going, and I know that's like something that I'm trying to work on myself and allow other people to speak when I'm having that. But I get really excited when I'm passionate about things, so when someone does say that, it upsets me. I think that this is why I think I have ADHD, because it's sometimes, apparently that's a thing, like we don't realize, like we're having a good time and we think that we're being okay in a conversation. So when someone says it, it's like a really big knockback, because you realize that maybe you're not socially being as comfortable as you are. And I feel that like tenfold. It makes me feel really sad, and then I don't talk anymore, like I don't input, and I just kind of go within myself. And that's kind of like here, I feel like perhaps that's something for you to consider, if that's something for you. And own it. To say, yeah, okay, yeah, I am like that. That is me. And then I guess see the vulnerability in that, because for me that could be, again, I could shut down and I could go into that space, and that's not healthy and that's not good, because I am a good person and I'm not doing it to be toxic or to interrupt and to be mean, right? And I think that's here what you need to do for that. So if something is true, it's kind of realizing that those shadows don't make you a bad person. And sometimes it takes as much as explaining to somebody. I think if they understand you, it won't bother them as much. But if they just think you're being rude, it's going to bother them, right? So take that to mind. But I do feel like whatever it is, this toxic situation, it's just something that's not as big as you could potentially build it into. But this area is indicating that you are having good times. I do feel like January is a really good month for you for relationships and connections. And I don't mean love as such, because this doesn't feel like love. It feels like family, friends, and this can include your partner. But what I'm saying is this is not restricted to just partners. I feel as though you have this support all around you in terms of feeling of people who care for you, which is really great. I'm loving that. And that means that if you do have some bad people around you that are making you feel bad, just acknowledging and realizing that you also have some really cool, good people. And that's what matters. Mermaid in a koi pond. Rediscover your individuality and become the dragon. Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers of the Subtle Realm. You're definitely, you have support around you. And this is a really great time universally for really becoming your authentic self and choosing only good stuff for you. And I feel that really deeply for you, Leo. I get this feeling you are shifting into a way of being like your best self. And I think it does come with embracing your emotions, kind of realizing, and I want to say realizing you are a sensitive person. I feel like maybe before in your life, being sensitive has been seen as a negative thing for you. Like you have felt that your sensitivity to people has been a weakness. And remember, being an empath, that is not a weakness, it is a strength. To be compassionate of others and understand what others go through is a really positive thing. My postie is here, so she might bib. I'm going to continue though. So discovering your individuality, to me, I feel it's like realizing that you are very vulnerable for a reason. Like that's made you who you are. That's created that strength in you to go through all of what you've been through, and to come out still being this compassionate, sensitive being is a really positive thing. And I think that this is you realizing that, and realizing that the people you attract through your sensitivity are the ones that you resonate the most with, are the ones that also embody those things that you saw as weaknesses. You see them as beautiful things in other people. So it's a time for you to see that in yourself. If you love that about other people, why wouldn't you love that about yourself? And that's how I feel like with this card. And so with that comes a strength and a passion. And Leo, you are full of that. I'm definitely feeling that here. And I feel like this is going to be the fuel towards great stuff for you that's going to get you what you desire. I really am keep getting this sense of children alongside. So if somebody is wanting children, this is the year where I just feel like it is manifesting, which is pretty awesome. But again, it's like creating, I feel as though something is going to be born beside you. So for those of you who are not pregnant and growing, I feel like whatever it is that you're desiring to grow, like something is building beside you. So if you are hoping to build a business or just create something in your life, it really is growing during this time, and it's, you know, it's beside you. I have fertility in this, and yeah, it's like having a support system as well alongside you is the vibe with it, which is exactly what the Council of Light are. These are your guides that are guiding you all along the way. Trust your intuition all through this as well. Our light cards that we have is the Initiation, Awakening, Council of Light, and also the Ever Unfolding Rose. You are growing spiritually into such a good place, and it does feel like really opening up, like we said, that opening of a lotus. It feels like you're opening up emotionally, and I think that's amazing. I have been with a Leo from teenage years, my early 20s. My ex was a Leo, is a Leo, whatever, and actually I've been with a couple of Leos in my life. And I think the problem mainly has been, I don't know, I'm just trying to look now, they are going to open, but I think with my Mayo Leo, he was very kind of, I feel as though he wasn't fully open with himself. And this is, to me, is like a Leo trait. I think like you show the fun side there, like being the joker and having a good time, because Leos generally are, that all the Leos I've ever known in my life have been people who have a good time and are really good to be around, great friends. But when it comes to being the one that's good, and there's usually something hidden within you that you don't show other people. And the toxic side of that relationship that I had was that, like, towards the end of things, that he was very mean and passive towards me, because, I mean, it makes sense in my life with how it was at the time, so I'm not shaming him or anything. You know, we all go through things. But what I'm saying is, I think it's because, and that was very out of character, that nobody else would have believed that, because of the good person he was in person, in his life, you know? And I feel like that's something that Leos do a little bit, is you keep that yourself a little bit hidden behind walls and just be this happy-go-lucky person around people, which is kind of like sad, because it feels as though you cannot just truly be yourself because of maybe the judgments and things. And that's what I'm feeling here, is realizing that you can be yourself and be vulnerable, and that's what's going to attract exactly what you desire in your life. Raised by wolves. You belong. Is that what I've just been saying? And light dancer, illumination, the radiant self, shining soul. You need to be you. Just exist. Like, just do you. Like, that's what I was just saying, but this is what this card's saying. So, raised by wolves. Leo, you are a lion. You have passion. You have love. And you have desires and wants. And I feel like this is a time for you to really go for those things that you want. And it just comes with, like, you don't have to try. I feel like, again, look at your life. Have you always tried too hard, and has it not got you where you want to be? And I feel like the point is, like, you don't have to try so hard in order to receive the gifts that you are deserving of, which is what I want to say, weirdly, how that's worded. And I just feel as though blessings are going to come to you just by you purely embracing yourself. So interesting. I feel as though this reading really is kind of guiding you towards the resolutions for you to take on this year, and the way that you should shape. So I'm loving how this reading is going for us, Leo. You have Elizabeth and the Lion. It's time for you to become a great leader. It's time for you to own who you are. You're a natural born leader, right? You are being open to this. So anything that you put your mind to this year, and I'm going to be that mum that says you can do anything you put your mind to. This is something my dad always used to say to me in our conversations. My dad, I used to go to his every other weekend because my parents split when I was young. And we used to have these in-depth conversations when I used to go to work with him. And there's just something that I hold dear to myself. And something he always said was, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. And it just always stuck with me. Like, it's one of those things my whole life. Like, when I feel like I can't do it, I can't do this anymore, I don't know what to do, it's like that is there in the back of my mind. And I want that for you, Leo. I feel like this is something like your mantra for this year, is you can achieve anything you put your mind to. And I really feel that. Now, the fact you have Elizabeth and the Lion come up for you, Leo, this is you representing in a card to me in this deck. And I feel as though you need to own who you are and put that into your life, in all areas of your life, not just one, but I do want the focus to be directed onto the path that you wish to take. So have a good think. Again, this is a time of reflection, not a time of action, so you don't have to know exactly where you're going. And I do feel like this year the whole idea is not to have things set in stone. Do not think, if I don't have this done by this time, it's not happening. Allow the energies to work in the way. I feel like it will come to you sooner than you believe, but it comes with not having expectations. Things are happening to you and not things are happening for you and not to you. So again, when things are happening that are bad, I want you to realize this is happening. Why? Because it has to, because I have to let that go. I have to move on from this. It no longer serves me anymore. It's realizing that things are happening for a reason. And it's not happening just because bad things happen. It's not happening just because bad things always happen to me. I want you to change that mindset. All the way through this, it's all about mindset and really becoming peaceful with who you are and your emotions. So keep that in mind, Leo. This does summarize the whole reading. Become it. Own who you are. Be your authentic self and choose only things that enlighten you. That's what I want to say to you. Enlightenment. But yeah, you're supported. You have so much support around you and love. And I do love that for you. Focus. Focus on the positives. Focus away from the negatives. And realize you do have that level of support. Thank you so much for being here, Leo. please hit that subscribe button. It will help me out immensely. And also I want you to keep up to date with all of your readings every month. Again, comment below if you have any questions, and I will get back to you as soon as I'm able to. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year and many blessings to you, Leo.